All right, finance students, we're moving on to 8-3, so stock market data charts. And I put a little quote here, although it's easy to forget sometimes, a share is not a lottery ticket, it's part ownership of a business. So what does that quote kind of mean? Well, some people are looking, when they invest, are looking to kind of get rich off of one stock. Later on we're going to talk about mutual funds. I think mutual funds are the safest way to invest, without risking it all in one stock. Okay, I want you to try the warm-up. So pause the video, try the warm-up, and it says, what does it mean in this context? So you have to kind of describe what's going on when you're doing numbers 1, 2, and 3. Okay, assuming you've paused it. What I like to do is just, write some numbers here. So it usually sells for X dollars. I'm just going to put $2. And it's marked down to Y dollars. So I'm just going to put $1. So let's just see what that means. So this is going to be 2 minus 1. So this is just how much you save. So you saved $1. That would be the context. Let's look at the other one. Number 2, y minus x divided by x. So I have 2 minus 1. The absolute value of that divided by 1. So I get 1 over 1. Okay, and this is kind of intended to be a percent here. So you are saving, 50% there. So you can think of that as 50% off. There's other ways you can look at that one. Number 3 says multiply 100. Maybe we'll choose something other than 1 for this one here. Let's choose like 5 and 3. Okay, we could do that for this one too, but we'll choose 5 and 3. So I have 100 times the absolute value of 5 minus 3 divided by x, which was 5. Okay, so this is going to be 100 times the absolute value of 5 minus 3, which is 2. So 100 times 2 divided by 5. So this is 200 divided by 5. Okay, what does that tell me? 200 divided by 5. Well, if I divide 200 by 5, we can do that over here and get a number, get a value. Okay, I get 40. So what does the 40 mean? Okay, and this is 40. Well, this would mean that it's 40%. You are saving 40%. All right, and if you think about it, you're saving $2 out of $5. So that's another way to look at it, 40% savings. All right, stock market data can be presented in list form or in graphical form. So the graphical form is known as a candlestick. So, and the candlestick gives you certain information. So you might see this when you're researching your stocks. Most of the time, you're just going to see kind of a bar graph that gives you the 1 day, that would be 1D, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. You might see that where you can click on these various things and it'll give you an updated chart of what's going on for that year or day or week or month, whatever it is. Or you might see it like this. And if you do see it as represented as a candlestick, the high value, this always represents 1 day of trading. So this is April 30th. Okay, so 1 day of trading. So in that particular day, the highest price that it hit was right here. So that would be like 33.25 or something like that. So that might be 33.2, maybe higher than that, 275. Okay, the lowest price of the day was 32.6. So for that trading day, it was 32.6. Okay, it opened at around right here, so 32.87 or something like that, and it closed below that at 32.7. So which means that the price there, if it opened at 32.9 and it closed at 32.7, for that day, the price decreased, so the value went down. Okay, and then you might see at the bottom of the candlestick there, the volume. Okay, how many shares were traded that day? And this could be in millions, thousands, whatever it is. Okay, so 30 million stocks were traded that day. So 30 million shares were bought and sold. Okay, why would you pay attention to that? Well, if you go back and look at the volume per day, sometimes companies release some news or some data or whatever they're releasing, earnings, and the volume will spike on a particular day. Okay, the stock bar chart below presents trading information for the week of April 28th. So this is 1 week. So this goes from April 28th to May 2nd. And we want to look at this information and we want to try a couple of these. Okay, so we're just going to do this one example here, and then you guys are going to have some homework on 8-3. Okay, so it says, which day had the highest price? Which day had the lowest price? So if we just look here, well, the highest price, we go right here. This was the highest price. So the highest price was May 2nd. Which day had the lowest price? Well, the lowest price hit the low on April 29th. Okay, check your understanding. Between which 2 days did after hours trading appear to have the biggest impact on the difference between the closing price and the following day's opening price? So you may need to pause the video and try this one. But opening is always on the left. Okay, so this is what it opened on. We kind of read a book from left to right. So these that I'm circling here are all the opening prices. Okay, and then in blue, these are all the closing prices. Okay, so if I draw it over here, open is the little ticker on the left there, and then closing would be on the right. All right, and if the closing is above the opening, obviously it went up. Okay, and it says the biggest impact. So we're looking for the biggest impact between, it says after hours trading. So what does that mean? Well, the stock market, or the stock closed at this price and then opened right here. Why did it open the next day? This is the 28th and this is the 29th. Why did it open at a different value than it closed? Well, there was after hours trading. So this one went up slightly here. Okay, this is a pretty big jump right there. This is the same. So that's not going to be a big difference. Okay, and then here we have somewhat of a gap right there. And we don't know the opening price for the next day over here. Okay, which would probably be Saturday. So the biggest jump was between the 29th and the 30th, it looks like. So this is a difference of, if I count these as, this is going by 5/10. So this is a difference of not quite 5/10. And this is a difference of about 1/10. So it goes from 8.2, we'll say, 8.12 to about 8.22. So 8.22, which is a difference of 0.1. So the after hours trading affected or had the biggest impact from the 29th to the 30th. Okay, and again, we're looking at after hours trading. So after the official closing price. Example 2, approximately how many shares of Gold Point Manufacturing were traded over the 5-day period? And it says approximately, so we're just estimating. So now we have to go down to the bottom of this, and we want to look at the volume. So a lot of whatever was going on Monday, maybe they released some information. They had a lot of shares traded on Monday compared to the rest of the days. So I'm just going to get an estimate here. I'm going to write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then we'll total these up. And we'll do a squiggly line for estimate. So this is in millions. So this would be about maybe 180 million shares were traded on the 28th. So I would do 180. On Tuesday the 29th, if I zoom in over here, okay, maybe that would be 70 million. On Wednesday, okay, a little bit more. Maybe that's 75 million. On Thursday, goes back down to the same it was on the 29th, it looks like. So that would be 70 million. And then on Friday, goes up a little bit there, so maybe that's 90 million. And I would just add all these numbers up. You can use a calculator, or you can just do the math here. 18 plus 7 is 25. 25 plus 7 is going to be 32. 32 plus 9 is going to be 41. And 41 plus 7 is going to be 48. And then I have that 0.5 there. So this is going to be 48.5 million, but I have to add a 0 there. So it's going to be 480.5 million shares were traded over that week. All right. So your homework is going to be, we're going to zoom over to 8-3. Okay, and a lot of you guys have been taking pictures of it and turning it in, so awesome. If you, and most of you guys crop your pictures, but if you haven't, try to take a straight picture, crop it, and even better, you might want to download a free app that changes all your pictures to PDFs. Then you can put multiple pictures in there. So 8-3, we are going to do numbers 1 through 6. Okay, so we're just doing the first page. So we're doing 1 through 6. And so complete those, take a picture, go back to your notes if you need to, and then we will continue on with 8-3. Okay, and our stock market game on Friday. Every Friday we're going to update our Excel or Google Sheets spreadsheet to see what our stocks have done, and you're going to submit that as your assignments on Friday. So I think we have maybe three more Fridays that we're going to submit that for, 2 or 3.